Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to put these 35 marshmallows in a vacuum chamber to see what happens. And along the way, we're going to use marshmallows to understand a little bit about the expansion of our universe. Now before we put all 30 in there, let's start out with a single marshmallow in our vacuum chamber and see how it behaves. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put the lid on here, close the valve off, one marshmallow in, 3, 2, 1, here we go. All right, coming down real fast, immediately, whoa, check this thing out. The marshmallow is swelling. We're almost to half an atmosphere, almost a little bit past half of an atmosphere. It's almost probably double in size. So I like to think about this, and we'll talk in a minute, as the universe expanding. Everything in there is everything we see in the sky. Here we're past half of an atmosphere, approaching 1/4 of an atmosphere. I wonder how big this thing's gonna get. I don't know if I'm going to have enough room for all 30 of them. So here we're at 1/4 of an atmosphere. This thing is at least twice as big as it was originally. We're and we have a collapse. So it looks like we reached some critical point and then it just collapsed and now it's shrinking. Let me turn the vacuum off. All right, so we turn the vacuum off. Let's let the air back in and see what happens. Air going back in. Oh, mega shrinkage there. Whoa, that is really cool. All right, let's take it off and see what we have. All right. Wow, it's very, very dense. Move this out of the way. Very, very dense. It's still a little stretchy. It's not hard, but it's just not as light and fluffy as it was. I mean, that's obvious. All right, so that was one marshmallow. I honestly don't know if I'm gonna have room for all 30 of them in there. We'll see what happens. But let's take this a step further and let's put another single marshmallow in and talk a little bit more about the expansion of our universe. Because you know, we look out at the night sky and astronomers can look at the light that comes from stars. And the light from every direction that we look in the sky, every galaxy, every star, other than the ones very, very close to us, they're all what we call red shifted. And that means that as the light is coming toward us, it is stretched out because those objects are all moving away from us. And so that's red shifted. So we can figure out that all of the galaxies around us are all moving away from us. So the natural question is, where is the center of our universe? Is it here? Is it here? Let's use this marshmallow to try to understand that there is no actual center of the expansion of the universe. Let's take a look at it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take another marshmallow and I'm going to put dots all over the marshmallow here. And these dots, it might take me a few minutes here, but we're basically going to pretend that these dots are galaxies and stars in the sky. All right, so now we have our little universe, and what you have to do is you have to pretend that you live only on the surface of this thing, right? Or that you can pretend that all of the dots also exist on the inside of this volume here, if you want to think of it that way. Or you can think of yourself as living on the surface. Let's see what happens as we put this guy back in our vacuum chamber here. We know it's going to expand, but what I want you to do is I want you to focus on the dots. I want you to look, and let's look together and see what happens to the dots. 3, 2, 1, here's the big bang. Okay, coming down, we're at 3/4 of an atmosphere. We can see our universe beginning to expand, approaching half an atmosphere. Notice the distance between the dots. As the entire universe, including the space between the dots, begins to expand, then the distance between every dot to every other next door neighbor dot is also getting larger and larger by the same ratio, by the same amount. So here we're getting pretty close to our little collapse, but notice that it looks like a scaled up copy of when the universe was smaller, only now the dots are farther apart, but they're relatively speaking in the same orientation that they were before. All right, almost to the critical point here. All right, I went ahead and stopped it so we can talk about it here. People ask, where is the center of the universe? Well, not only are the objects in the universe moving away from us, but space itself is increasing and being generated all the time, essentially. And so that's what's happening here. When the objects and the space between the objects are all increasing in their positions, then there is no specific center. If I were at this particular dot, I would see all of my surrounding neighbors increasing in their distance. They would be all traveling away from me. But if I lived on this dot, this star system, then all of my neighboring stars would be traveling away from me. No matter where I live in this universe, if I look out into the night sky over here, no matter where I live, everywhere I look, everything is moving away from me. There is no specific center. A better way of thinking about it is that every star could be thought of as the center. And that's because it's not an explosion that's expanding out into some other space. It's that space itself is increasing. That is the main thing. Don't think of the Big Bang as some explosion that happened into an empty room. Think about the Big Bang being the creation of space itself. So no matter where you are in the universe, everything looks like it's moving away from you. And that is why when we look into our sky, that is exactly what we see. All of the galaxies moving away from us. But if we lived in a different galaxy, somewhere else like Andromeda, and we looked into our night sky, we would also see everything moving away from us from that location as well. All right, let's let the air back in and pretend the universe collapses in on itself. 3, 2, 1, here we go. And you can see there. Now, once upon a time, scientists thought the universe might actually eventually stop expanding due to gravity and begin to collapse in on itself, and that was called the Big Crunch. Maybe we collapse in on ourselves and another Big Bang happens. But actually, we now know that the universe is not slowing down in its expansion. We know that it's actually accelerating. So we know the universe is not going to slow down and collapse in on itself. Now, the question I have for you is, why did this marshmallow, why does it behave this way? When we suck all the air out of the vacuum, why does it swell up like that? Well, this marshmallow is full. Wow, this feels so weird. It's still kind of light and fluffy, and it feels like a marshmallow, but at the same time, very, very dense. Because why? This marshmallow is full of millions and millions of microscopic air pockets on the inside. And so the sugar makes sort of a backbone that traps tons and tons of air pockets. So when we suck the air out of the vacuum chamber, the inside air pressure from the inside of the marshmallow is what's pushing it out. But what happens eventually is it reaches a critical point where it can't, or I suppose what happens is it gets to a critical point where those air pockets are all ripped open and they can't expand any further. You think of like that, almost like a balloon popping. And when that happens, all the microscopic air pockets rupture and then everything collapses back in. And then when we let the air back in, there's no more air pockets to support the structure, so it just shrinks back down. What I'd like to do is really quickly show you what those air pockets in this marshmallow looks like under a microscope. Okay, so I'm just going to take this marshmallow and I'm going to put it under this microscope and we're going to take a look at it. All right, so let me try to get this in focus here. First of all, take a look at the surface before we do anything else. It looks like the moon or something. You can see these microscopic fissures and cracks all over this thing. Now, what I'm going to do is just grab the sides of it and I'm going to begin to pull it apart. And I want us to focus on the inside. Notice, look at all of these little microscopic pockets. You see all those pockets in there? They trap air. And there's many millions of them, maybe even more than that in there. And what they're doing is they're trapping air. You can see when I pull it apart, you can see all the millions of microscopic air pockets, and they're trapping air in there. And when we suck the air out of the vacuum chamber, those tiny little air pockets are what expanding, almost like millions and millions of tiny little balloons. But when we suck too much of the air out of there, those microscopic balloon pockets have gotten larger and larger and larger. Eventually they rupture, and so then it can't support the structure anymore, and it begins to collapse, and that's what we saw in the vacuum chamber. And so now what I want to do is what we said we would do in the beginning. Let's put all of the marshmallows, 35 of them in there, and we're going to pretend that each of those marshmallows is a part of the multiverse. And so we'll consider them little pocket universes which are adjacent to each other, and all of them expanding, and see what actually happens when we suck the air out of the chamber. All right, now let's fill our vacuum chamber with our 35 marshmallows. There's 1, there's 2, and then we'll just keep on filling it up. All right, now for our very last one, I have our little universe here, which has already collapsed. Hopefully we'll see that that one doesn't expand so much. So let's go ahead and put the vacuum chamber back together And I want you to consider each of these marshmallows being an adjacent universe to ours, which is expanding and maybe colliding with an adjacent universe. Okay, 35 marshmallows in a vacuum chamber. 3, 2, 1, here we go. All right, I have no idea what's going to actually happen, if we're going to fill the volume, if we're going to run out of room. All right, we're at almost half of an atmosphere. Whoa, I think I'm going to make a mess in here. All right, we're just past half an atmosphere. The top marshmallow, notice that one's not expanding because that's already collapsed from before. Here we're a little bit past half of an atmosphere, approaching a quarter of an atmosphere. We've already impacted the top of the chamber. I wonder if it's going to fill the whole volume before the whole thing collapses. Let's see. Now we're at a quarter of an atmosphere, and it looks like we've filled almost the whole volume on the bottom. And of course the top was like pyramidal, so we're not quite expanding to fill the volume there. That's probably as big as it's going to get. And it looks like now we've reached the collapse phase, where those microscopic air pockets have now collapsed, and that's about as big as it's going to get. Now this is a fun little thing to do because it's interesting to put so many marshmallows in a vacuum chamber and watch and see what they do. That part's cool. But we can also talk about it and learn something about it. So we know that our universe is expanding. We know that it's not just the distance between the objects getting bigger, but it's space itself is being generated and more space is occurring in between the objects. So the whole fabric of the universe is getting bigger. And so each of these little marshmallows in here you can think of as like a universe, which is isolated from maybe an adjacent universe. This part is theoretical. We don't know if this is happening, but some ideas out there are that maybe our universe, everything that we can see, is not everything that's out there. Maybe there are adjacent universes which are on their own self-contained and also maybe undergoing expansion. And maybe we're completely isolated and totally impossible to cross from one universe to the other, because it would be like jumping from one sheet of paper to another. If you're an ant that lives on one sheet of paper and another sheet of paper is up high, there would be no way for you to get from one sheet of paper to the other. Maybe it's equally impossible for us to jump from one universe to the next. So that's called the multiverse theory. Is it true? We actually have no idea if it's true, but people are looking for signs of it, right? If adjacent universes really are expanding, maybe it is possible for one part of one universe to collide or intersect with our universe, and maybe we can see telltale signs of that collision happening. Now, how that would look, I don't think anybody really knows, but people are looking at the cosmic microwave background radiation left over from the Big Bang to see if there are any remnants or any signals or signs that maybe we're on an impending collision or some other collision with another multiverse. Part of the multiverse has actually happened. That's all theoretical. We don't know if that's true, but it's a fun idea to think about, that maybe there are entire other universes out there called the multiverse. So I'm Jason. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed looking at marshmallows under a microscope with me and trying to use that to understand a little bit about how our universe behaves. One thing I'll leave you with, even though this is kind of fun little tongue-in-cheek little demo here, the part about the dots on this little marshmallow and the dots between the space between the dots getting bigger as the marshmallow expands, that is a very, very good analogy for looking in the night sky and seeing everything expand away from us, but yet there not being a single center of the expansion. Remember, any dot that we were to live on, any star system here, we would look out into the night sky and we would see all the other adjacent dots getting farther away from us or receding away from us. So there is no center to the Big Bang. That's really what I want you to take away from this. Now let's go ahead and collapse our multiverse. I'm Jason. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please drop me a line. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Learn anything at mathandscience.com.